Chicago Cardinal Cupich faces mounting opposition against his decision to honor pro-abortion Senator Dick Durbin. The Archdiocese Office of Human Dignity and Solidarity plans to give the Illinois Democrat a Lifetime Achievement Award in November for his work around immigration policy, even though the U.S. Senator and baptized Catholic has long voted against pro-life measures. Bishop Thomas Paprocki, head of Durbin's home diocese of Springfield, Illinois, was the first one to openly speak out against what he calls the Cardinal's scandalous decision.
I think it's scandalous in that sense that giving an award to to a politician who has a consistent pro-abortion voting record gives scandal, because it basically gives the message to other politicians, well, you can be Catholic and you can be pro-abortion and it doesn't matter.
At least 6 of Paprocki's brother bishops have joined him in calling Cupich to withdraw the honor, including the bishops of San Francisco, Fort Worth, Green Bay, Wisconsin, and Lincoln, Nebraska. To discuss this developing story, we're joined by a former U.S. Congressman and prominent Catholic voice who has Chicago roots himself. The Honorable Dan Lipinski is a former 8-term U.S. representative for Illinois who's well known as one of the last pro-life Democrats to serve in Congress. His service on Capitol Hill ended in 2021, and he's currently the Pope Leo XIII Fellow on Social Thought at the University of Dallas. Congressman, thank you so much for being with us. What is the impact, in your opinion, that one of our nation's largest Catholic dioceses is honoring Senator Durbin?
Well, first of all, Catherine, good to be on here with you. I really want to give my perspective. I'm working on a piece today for First Things that will speak a little bit more to this. But I think it's really important that, first of all, I'm not going to tell bishops what to do. But I'd like to give my perspective, offer my perspective, hopefully be helpful, because it does concern me, having been in Congress for 16 years and gone through, some of these issues, especially 2010, the Affordable Care Act, the abortion funding in that bill. I know that, the Catholic members of Congress look to the signals that is sent by the church about, what does it mean to be a good Catholic in public life? And it just concerns me. The church very, very rarely, I can't really think of another example of someone receiving an award directly from the church, a politician that is. And I think that this really sends the signal of what does it mean to be a faithful Catholic in the public square. And so it does concern me a bit. And I think maybe the church in general just should not ever go down this road with anybody.
Senator Durbin has been barred from receiving Holy Communion in his home diocese of Springfield since 2004 because of his pro-abortion political record. Cardinal Cupich is claiming Durbin is a member of the Chicago Archdiocese. Congressman, can you shed some more insight into that complex relationship between a Catholic politician and his or her bishop? What is that dynamic like there?
Well, it's funny. The one bishop that ever called me in to talk about an issue specifically, just one-on-one, was Bishop Paprocki when he was an auxiliary bishop in the Chicago Archdiocese. And I think he had heard about my position at that time. I did not support a comprehensive immigration reform bill. And he called me in to talk to me about, understand my position, talk to me about the church's position. And we had a very good conversation on that. I think that's very important that bishops do that. That's their responsibility to their flock, not just for public policy purposes, but also for they're responsible first and foremost for the souls of all of their flock. And I also spoke with Cardinal George a number of times, but the one time there's sort of specifically on an issue that Bishop wanted to talk to me about, it was Bishop Paprocki.
That's fascinating. And to hear, just to have that kind of one-on-one relationship that you both could communicate. A huge part of your political legacy, of course, is that you are seen as the last reliable pro-life Democrat in Congress. I'm just curious, as this news is developing and as someone who has heroically held the line on the pro-life issue in the Democratic Party because of your Catholic faith, how do you feel seeing a pro-abortion Catholic politician being honored in your hometown archdiocese?
Well, you know, Dick Durbin, when he was in the House of Representatives, what was pro-life, he really shifted over as the party, the Democratic Party, really, made it clear that if you wanted to rise in leadership, that you could not be pro-life. Senator Durbin, served a long career in the House, 30 years in the Senate, rose up to not quite the top position in the Senate. And I'm sure there's a lot of different organizations that are going to be awarding him, honoring him for his career. I mean, if you're looking at it from a secular perspective, he was a successful politician. But the question is following church teaching. And that's why I say, I don't know of anyone, if the church should really be honoring anyone, because it does send the message. And it suggests here, and I'm concerned other Catholic politicians are going to look at this and say, okay, well, I can still be a good Catholic if I, just follow what I believe, or, I follow 80%, 90%. The church really needs to challenge all of us, and especially politicians. So I think that that is a concern for me with this award.
You answered my next question already, but just to reiterate, it sounds like you don't think it's ever possible for the church to publicly award a Catholic politician and avoid scandal, Democrat or Republican.
I think it's extremely difficult these days. The church used to have a whole lot more influence in our culture, society, and on government, on politicians. And it just is not there right now. And I think that, this really is not helpful to that. The church needs to be a clear witness and needs to let Catholics know, especially in public life, that they also need to be a clear witness and choose their Catholic faith over their political party. And this is something I've talked about a lot, that we need to be Catholic first. And partisanship right now seems to, be first for so many politicians, which is very, very troubling, very, very problematic. And the church cannot send the message that that's okay.
The Honorable Dan Lipinski, thank you as always for your insight.
Thank you.